everybody, and welcome back to our third in a series of 3 Sandwich Tasty Tuesdays. Last week we did the Cuban, the week before that we did the banh mi, and today we are making lobster rolls. Now lobster rolls are, depends on what camp you're in. There are several different camps on how a lobster roll should be prepared. I've had 2 different kinds of lobster rolls. The New England style I've had in Maine, and then I also had one I really liked in Nova Scotia. There's a third kind that I haven't had. It's called the Connecticut style. And from what I can gather in my research, it is more lobster in hot butter served on a roll. The New England style is cold lobster, usually mixed with mayonnaise, served on a roll. And the kind I had in Nova Scotia is cold lobster mixed with mayonnaise, served on a toasted buttered roll. And it also was served with melted butter on the side. I think in New England, you can also get melted butter on the side. So I'm going to just make what I had in Nova Scotia, and it's very similar to New England. But here in Washington State, where I am, finding lobster is kind of difficult. You can sometimes find live lobster, but it's rare. You can sometimes find whole, fresh lobster. You can very rarely find lobster meat, even frozen, but you can almost always find lobster tails. I almost bought some frozen lobster meat online. It was about $40 a pound, but the shipping was an additional $40. No way was I going to do that. So I went to my local supermarket. They had lobster tails. I bought 5 of them. I cooked them. And I got just under a pound of meat. This is, I don't know, more than 3/4 of a pound, but not quite a pound. So to cook them, they come with the shell on. I put them in boiling salted water. You want to boil them about a minute per ounce. I ended up boiling them for about 5 minutes. Before I boiled them, I cut the tail through the shell to where the tail fans out, and that made it easier to take off the shell after I cooked them. I let them cool down, I put them in the refrigerator, and then I took care of that. Then I cut and chopped my lobster meat. And actually, for tail meat, I'm pretty happy with it. It tastes really good. So now you don't want to cover up the flavor of your lobster. So there's only 2 things we're going to add today. We're adding about 3/4 of a cup of chopped celery and of mayonnaise. I might add a little bit more, but I don't think I'm going to need it. And again, you don't want to cover that flavor up. I'm putting in just a little bit of squeeze of lemon. That should be enough. And some salt and pepper. Now, the one I had in Nova Scotia had a little bit of spinach on the bun. You don't always see that, but we're going to do that today. So let's mix up our meat here and see if we need any more mayonnaise. I'm using Best Foods, which depending on where you are in the United States might be called Hellmann's. It's the same thing, which to me is the best mayonnaise you can get at a supermarket. Oh yeah, I think that looks good. It actually looks a tiny bit watery, and I think that's because maybe I should have dried out the lobster meat a little bit, but it looks really good. And I'm gonna give it just a little bit more salt and a little bit more pepper. And now I'm going to let this sit here for a second while we grill our buns. Now I have Sometimes you'll get a lobster roll just on regular hot dog buns. I call these hoagie rolls. They're a little bit bigger, and I've buttered it on all sides, and I'm gonna put this on my flat iron grill. So my lobster roll buns, I've grilled on both sides. Lots of butter and nice and crispy. Off they go. Now I am going to put together, this one came apart. I try to keep them attached. But so just a little bit of spinach on each one. Okay, now our lobster on top of each one. I actually probably have enough here to make 3 sandwiches, but I'm only making 2. And I have melted some butter on the stove. And I'm going to serve that alongside for dipping, or you could even pour it over the top if you want. Might want to wear a bib while you're eating this. And I'm serving this for our dinner tonight. It's a nice sunny day. We're going to go sit out on the patio and watch the golfers go by. Have a gin and tonic with our lobster roll and a little side salad. That is our beautiful lobster roll. I'm going to try to show it to you here without making too big of a mess. Oops! We'll see if I can manage that. Lobster roll, Nova Scotia style. Let me come up to the camera. Kind of New England style, kind of Nova Scotia style. Whatever style you like. Doesn't really matter. Just enjoy this lovely tradition from the Northeast of the United States and of Canada. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next Tuesday.